Welcome to the Conscious Living Podcast, conversations to educate, empower, and enlighten our world. An uplifting and inspiring series of conversations and talks with your host, Jackie Woodside. We are educating minds, empowering lives, and enlightening souls to create a world where love prevails. In this engaging podcast, we deliver exciting, positive, transformative talks and teachings designed to elevate your life. Now, let's join our host, Jackie Woodside, for this week's session.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here for another episode of the Conscious Living Podcast, where we are here to educate, empower, and enlighten our world. I'm so glad that you have joined us again today for another episode of the Conscious Living Podcast. And, I'm just heartened to know that there are people out there like me who care about living more consciously, who care about being awakened, thinking about life on a deeper level. The unexamined life is not worth living. So here at the Conscious Living Podcast, we examine life in every facet. We overturn every rock and look underneath it. Sometimes we talk about the body or the mind or the breath. And sometimes we talk about business and growth and money. So I'm really excited to bring to the stage today, to the Conscious Living Podcast, Angela Bell, who's the CEO of a company called Holistically Made Millionaire. If I have that's correct, right, Angela? Holistically Made Millionaire. How exciting is that? So, as you all know, being listeners and followers of mine, I wrote a book called Money Vibe, and I have a whole program around vibration and money and how the two go together. And Angela very similarly recognizes that freedom isn't just about how much money is in your bank account. So let's dive in and have this conversation. Angela, welcome so much to the show. And please take a minute, say a little bit more about yourself so our listeners can get to know you.
Oh, it's so good to be here, Jackie. And I just love that gold behind you because it's just like this light. And it's like you're asking everyone to just turn up the dimmer switch and also notice not just how it affects them, but how it affects the world. So I just want to validate and support you in that. And I'm so excited to be here today. Um, I am a recently empty nested single mom.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, we did it. It was a beautiful experience, not always easy, but it was beautiful. And now I get to be an adult mom, which is also so beautiful, and get
Nice.
to
I have
know
an
my
18-year-old son who graduates high school in 3 weeks, or I'm sorry,
yeah.
3 months. So I will be in your shoes very shortly.
It is such a beautiful time. Mine are 25 and 20, and the
Congrats.
oldest got married a year ago. So we're moving into a whole new phase of life. For
Yeah.
me, I call it the legacy leg of my life and career. Definitely, I've had other legacies, like raising children, but I'm
Mhm.
moving into a different one. My company's changing. There are no limits, whereas before, I definitely put some limits, and there were things that I was not willing to sacrifice to have an 8-figure company.
Yeah.
I was blessed to have the company that I did have. And the main reason is I got to do what you love as well, which is literally evolve and transform and raise what's happening here on the planet, individual by individual. And then they go back and bless their companies, their communities, their circles.
Exactly.
Um, we do have a holistic approach. It's named Holistically Made Millionaire, but it starts with a W. So it's holistic with a W in mind for wholeness, for wealth, and for winning. And we
Mm,
look for
I love that.
triple wins. I don't believe in the hubris type of wins.
What do you
That
mean by that? The hubris type of wins?
hubris wins are very more in the narcissistic category, or at least the self category. It's become more of the forefront. Our society kind of had to go through that with the emergence of really big social media compared to what we'd had 10 years before. So it's very like, look at me, copy me, do me instead of do you.
Influencers, that's kind of the era that we're in. Being a social
Yes,
media influencer in many ways has
it's
really,
shifting.
yeah. Tell me what shifts you're seeing.
I'm seeing people who are much more grounded in service, vulnerability, truth telling, not just triggering. We all have this spark inside of us that loves truth, and some people play off that. If I can trigger that every day, then you'll follow me and you'll buy from me or buy from the people that represent me, blah, blah, blah. But people who are saying, that's kind of like the talk and walk, like if you're just speaking and then you're just there to make a small exchange and then you leave people's lives and there's no book, there's no workshop, there's no way for them to integrate that after they have that experience with you.
Yeah, it's transactional, not transformational.
Yes. Oh, that's perfect, perfect, perfect. So that's really changing where people are like, I'm going to skip that cheap spark.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's a part of the process, but if that's all you ever do, it's shallow. And instead, I'm going to acknowledge that there's so much more there, and I'm going to give that, and I'm going to be that. That's what I'm seeing moving forward.
I love that. I love that. So say more about what it means to be a holistically made millionaire as opposed to, we're in the billionaire era. And I read an article this week that we are on the cusp of having the world's first trillionaire.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, it's an
Love it.
interesting time that we're in,
Good.
wealth concentration and what's happening socially around that. But
Yeah,
certainly the reach for millionaire is something that I'm sure a lot of my listeners are interested in, and growing their businesses or growing their service, to the humanity in whatever way, as an
sure.
employee or as an entrepreneur. So what does it mean to you? How does your business approach being a holistically made millionaire?
Well, I actually came across this in my experiences in health.
Okay.
I was very ill at 27, and my doctors told me I had the heart of a 92-year-old woman, and my test results were as bad as their terminal cancer patients. And I had a little boy, a little 2-year-old.
Well, what was wrong with you that you had that kind of health?
Now I know that I had pesticide poisoning from where I grew up. I grew up by a crop dusting airport. We lived in a beautiful place in the country, above the farmers' fields. But when they sprayed,
Sure.
especially when we drove right by it and they were spraying, I had pesticide poisoning and it led to diseases. And then I had some mold exposure with college as well. So, yeah, so it led to diseases and breakdown of organs and things like that. Um, and they were able to, the doctors I ended up with were an integrated medicine model. And so they stopped chasing symptoms and reacting to
Yeah.
symptoms.
Yeah.
And they treated the whole core of me. They treated me spiritually, emotionally, my nervous system, structurally, and then also biochemically. And they actually got to the core, and they're the ones that figured out, okay, you have pesticide poisoning, you have this, you have that. And it doesn't matter what we do, if that's still present, it's just going to pop up somewhere else in
Right.
another way.
Right.
And then I had I had a second child who had multiple congenital defects and diseases. And so then I spent his life going around the world fighting this rabbit hole medical model in order to find the integrated models. And I've spent 7 figures in that space. And so as a mindset expert, we were killing it with businesses. We have a group hybrid program that we still have now that's both private and group. It's our accelerator program. And to give you an idea, I was in a car accident at one point and I was unable to talk to my customers, do anything about the program. It was the program and my team, and that was it. Well, it happened to be when COVID broke out. Yeah. So with a brain injury, you can't look at screens. I couldn't speak. I needed to save whatever words I had for my care. And many of the cohort I had, 90% of them were brick and mortar, and they were shut down for 6 months.
Wow.
Now, we all know what that fear felt like, because even if we only stayed there for a minute or an hour or a month, we all felt it.
We all went through it.
Yeah, we did. I also had a 30% revenue guarantee for each one of those business owners because we do that with our eyes closed. every time. And so we've just learned to guarantee it. But I didn't realize acts of nature could take me out.
Right. Right.
So I was concerned for them. I wanted to be there for them. And the only way I could be was through our system and my team. And I'm happy to say that even with them closed for 6 months, we hit our mark.
Wow.
And more than that, they were the anchors of light in their community, in their business, in their families, because we gave them confidence and clarity and a level of consciousness where their problems weren't their obsession. They simply created a company and a leader where those problems didn't exist.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it was a beautiful experience. And that's the holistic nature of what we do. We look for integrated solutions, and that involves like a zipper mindset on one side, all the strategies you could ever want from business on the other, and we zip them together.
Yes. How did you help those brick and mortar companies increase their revenue by 30% when they were closed? I mean,
Yes. Well, we had the year. So they were
okay.
closed for 6 months of the year. And
Okay.
normally the program only goes for 6 months, but we extended. And when
Okay.
I was able, I actually extended again and came back on. So we extended almost all the way to a year uh,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
do that. But we were able to. And even with them closed, it was, what vibration and energy can do. And I'm also happy to say no one asked for a refund.
Wow.
No one stalled their payments, and no one did a chargeback.
Wow. That's
Like,
great.
we were in it together and it worked.
So, Angela, what did you see? You and I kind of have a mental image when we say we know energy and vibration and that's the creative element. But, for a listener who's maybe newer to that concept, or maybe someone who's been around the concept but doesn't quite get how to apply it in real world, feet on the ground, boots on the ground kind of thing. Tell a couple of those stories of how you were able to do that. What vibration and energy were people able to get into through the work that you were doing with them, even in the face of this global pandemic and global crisis?
Sure. I have art all over my house and it's all word art. So to me, vibrations or feelings and words go together. So I would love to put a label on all of this.
Yeah, yeah.
So one example is we had, I like to use the term inspired fun. It's one of our core values. And when we get into the slog of our business, especially when we're in the solopreneur, where we don't have a lot of leveraged employees or processes, or we're in the small business, we often find ourselves thinking inspired fun is what we do later,
Mm.
when that actually is what scales your company. So I work up to 50 million. Um, a lot of my friends and colleagues have built 8 and 9 figure companies, and that is a universal truth. Like when Elon Musk, how does he do what he does? How does he run so many companies that are just on the edge and ahead of everyone? And the answer is he doesn't obsess about problems. He just sees indicators and then he goes and makes his creation.
So great.
He doesn't try to solve problems. He allows them to dissolve in front of him. He just uses that data to create something, but it's not a reaction to a problem.
Yeah,
Um,
he's not solving problems, he's creating new paradigms.
yes, absolutely. That's what I was going to say. When you get into that inspired fun, that's when you're living, I call it God's purposes, whatever your higher power is, that other consciousness that's connected to your highest self.
Yeah.
When you feel it the most is at our highest self. I hope we also feel it when we're at our lowest self, but it's often harder to feel and it's more of a conscious effort at that point.
Sure, sure.
And so we create leaders and companies and lives that are absolutely based on inspired fun, where you're the founder, you're the CEO, and you're creating, we call them triple wins no matter where you go. We want triangle of wins. We don't want just you winning because then you don't win. We don't want just your customer winning. We want triple wins with other people involved.
Yeah, yeah. Well, when you say triple wins, so it's what's the triple?
So there's always another element that's a win when it's a higher consciousness level that takes it out of transaction,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So like when someone works with us, we win, they win, and their customer, their team, their family wins. And 3 is the minimum that we will settle for.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're always looking for the triple wins because that's the level that we like to play at. We're not really interested in anything more linear than that.
Yeah, no, exactly. So that is so fascinating. So that's part of I still want to understand more deeply this notion of
Sure.
holistically made millionaire. So part of it is it's not just about you, right? It's
And
not a
it's not just about
me.
money.
Yeah, okay, so it's not just about you. You can't just do good for you. We say
Mhm.
I go to a unity church and we say in unity, there is no private good. And it sounds like you share that value, that it's not just about the private good of the owner or the founder or the CEO. It's for the good of the family, the good of the community, the good of the customer. So I love that. And now you're saying a holistically made millionaire is not just about the money. Before you go into that, I just want to share with you, Angela, if I may, my definition of financial freedom in my body of
Ooh.
work is financial freedom is never having to worry about money, whether you have any or not.
Oh, that's so perfect.
Isn't
That's
that great?
exactly right.
Because I know lots of
Complete.
millionaires and multimillionaires who worry about money.
Absolutely. They are not free.
They are
100%.
not free.
Mhm.
Exactly. So I thought we would share that paradigm, but go there with me, Angela. You say that being a millionaire is not just about money. So what's your thinking and your checklist about what it means to be a millionaire?
Well, part of it is the paradigm, like you talked about, being able to be that level of creator. And the only thing I would add to your beautiful commentary on unity is that it isn't about just one part of you. It's about all of you.
So say more.
Um, we get into these places where our focus is solving our problems in our life.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We want to lose weight. We want to hire the right person here so we can have more leads, or we want to be more profitable, or we want to work less, or it's all about problem solving. And that is such a cheap, hollow representation of who you really are.
So true. That's
And
so true.
so we actually put a huge emphasis on where people make the most money with us. And it doesn't matter if I'm working with an 8-figure company, a 7, or, they're starting at they've just made their first $100,000. We have the best experts in the world. We have people who have built billion-dollar companies who come in and work with our clients. We have email marketers that send billion emails last year. Like, we work with the best as far as strategies go. And yet, where our customers make the biggest increase is when we're focusing on them and their mindset.
Oh, wow.
Every time, 66% of any
Mhm.
customer we work with, that's when they make their biggest spike.
Wow. And what do you do? What mindset shifts do you mind
Sure.
shifts? I like that. What mind shifts do you create?
What mind shift? That mind shift.
It's not my fault, it's my mind shift.
It's my mind shift. I have some great examples. I'm going to keep it on the business vein,
Sure.
if that works. Um, we are always working with the perfect thing. No one's doing it wrong.
Mm,
They just haven't yet realized their options of what everything's trying to show them. And so they're not able to nurture and experience all sides of themselves and the highest level in themselves, that inspired fun, that creativity, that new paradigm. And so we have a formula where we know that the brain and all your energies, um, really, your ego, your subconscious mind that is often in charge. Your subconscious mind is certainly, um, it's concerned with safety.
yeah, that's right.
And it's not necessarily concerned with physical safety so much. Most of us, have food, we have shelter. If we're listening to podcasts, probably, right? We have some kind of skill and revenue, but we're very, very concerned about emotional safety. And it's actually becoming more and more of a problem. And that's beautiful. It's perfect. It's exactly where we need to be, because the indicator lights are being seen and people are really trying to address those. Going to therapy, self-development books, podcasts, things like that are up, 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 up. Um, Unfortunately, there's so much that goes into actual transformation, and that's not natural. It needs to be taught and experienced. But the way that safety really comes about is not through safety, like, because you're not unsafe, right?
Right.
Like, you
Right.
might be in a toxic relationship and then, maybe you're not safe, but the reason you're there is because of worth and power.
It's what you believe. The reason you
Yes.
create the circumstances that you have in your life is because of what you believe and how you perceive,
Yes.
because of what you believe, how you then perceive the world, perceive yourself. I
Yes.
like to say that everybody is going to have circumstances. Whether or not you have problems depends on your level of consciousness.
Oh, you're so right. Neither of us really like to play on that linear field, and yet we've both been there.
Yeah, of course. Oh
We know
gosh.
how exhausting and draining and depressing and diluting and distracting it is. And, how you see yourself is the worth piece, and how you see yourself in the world is the power piece.
Absolutely. Ooh,
And
that was really good.
yeah, and
Say that
those
again. Say
two,
that again. That was so good.
how you see yourself is the worth piece,
Yeah.
and how you see yourself in the world is the power piece.
Wow. So whether or not a person feels a sense of personal power depends on how they see themselves in the world.
Oh, absolutely.
So great. And whether or
Absolutely.
not they feel a sense of self-worth is how they see themselves. That's really brilliant. I like that distinction.
Thank you. Well, that was our both of us made a contribution for that today, because I just played off what you
Right.
said to further lean into that. So, the dysfunctional side that's trying to teach us to connect to our power is control, which is an absolute lie and delusion that some never let go of in this life.
Right. Right.
And then worthlessness, or not connecting to the true experience of our worth, because we can't increase or decrease our worth. That's established in the universe. You don't even have control over your worth. You have infinite worth. It's just the only thing you get to choose with your power is, what is the level of experience of my worth that I'm having.
Mm,
And there is no greater influence on your life and business than those two things.
so great.
None.
That's just gold.
Yeah. I have some short examples. I met a young man. I met him at a private party. I think it was a book party for one of our colleagues. And he was 23,
Oh,
and
wow.
he had built a $10 million company in 18 months, from 0 to 10 million.
Oh my gosh. In what industry? What did he build?
uh, in medicine.
Wow.
So I asked him, because I know what that takes. So I asked him and I said, what was the most powerful thing? Because he's my son's age. And I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yeah. Yeah.
what's the most powerful thing that you were taught to be able to do that? And he said, I had a mentor straight out of college. My dad told me, don't, no, straight out of high school. He told me to skip college for now
Yeah.
and just go work with this mentor. And he told him, in order to build a company that only 7% have been able to do, right now, according to Forbes, we're at 93% cannot get past the $1 million mark of small business. And small business goes up to 40 million.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we're only at 7% that's doing above that, the million mark on up. And he said, if you want to get above that, here's the secret. Number one, never connect your worth to your company.
Mm,
I can give you an example of that. I had a client who we took from 10,000 a month to 100,000 a month, and then eventually 200,000 a month. And she left, and she came back and she said, I am miserable. like, okay, tell me what's happening. And she's like, I'm so busy. I'm only going to tell you half the story because I'm going to tell you the other half after I tell you about power. But she said, I'm so busy and I can't figure this out. So we did this holistic assessment that looks at mindset and business metrics and structure and all of that. And I said, so you own a company that's making, you're a CEO of a company that makes 200,000 a month and you're doing your own graphics. So talk to me about that. And she first told me about this process that she had, which literally was probably the best hiring process I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot.
Okay.
And I'm like, I think that's really interesting that I ask you about why you're doing your own graphic design and you show me how good you are at hiring for it, and yet you can't hire for it.
Right.
So I don't think we're dealing with a strategy problem here, because as far as strategy goes, girl, you got it nailed. So this has to be a mindset problem, which is why I let her talk about it in the first place. I shouldn't say but it is my job to guide the usage of her time with me. And so then I said, tell me about graphic design. And she said, well, it was the first thing that my dad taught me. Now, her dad, I'm not a psychologist, but some of family members and people who know him, and maybe even me, would call him, a personality disorder that deals with narcissism.
Okay.
So having attention and validation from a father who normally cannot do that would be a big deal to a young girl who never got it.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it was the first thing that she ever sold to help pay for college was graphic design. So to her, she was not worthy of her company unless she was doing graphic design.
Wow.
That's why no matter how intelligent, and I'm telling you, she's one of the best.
Yeah.
No matter how intelligent her strategy was, she would sabotage or literally hate and resent those graphic designers no matter what.
Wow.
That's how powerful worth is. You can't scale that.
You can't scale that.
And you wouldn't want to. It'd be miserable.
Right.
So that's how worth is involved. And if we get to the power piece and how we have to let
Yeah,
go.
so go back to the 23-year-old who built the $10 million company in 18 months. His mentor told him,
you can never connect your worth
never
to
connect your worth to your business. And what else?
And the second one was you have to let go of control. So in other words, be in power. Elon Musk doesn't micromanage his leaders. That's why he can run multiple companies.
Right.
Because he's a true leader.
Yeah.
And that sounded kind of snippy. and so I'm sure I'm snipping at myself, right? From my past experiences and wounds from learning that control doesn't exist. But many times, I was even talking to a woman this morning. She's built 2 8-figure companies. She coaches tons of people very successfully. And she's like, oh yeah, I still struggle with that. Like she's let go enough that she knows when she slips back into it.
Yeah.
And control comes from all of our fears. And it's not just our fears of the bad that's going to happen, but it's our fears of the expansion that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And control tries to tell us that we have a box that we can manage and nothing's going to surprise us or take us out.
Yeah. So good. So were those his 2 lessons from the mentor?
Those were his 2 lessons. And I was just like,
and he built a $10 million company in 18
months. And those 2 principles are the mindset that we teach and integrate into someone's life. We don't really care what you know. Mm-hmm. We just don't care because what you know is pretty much useless. What's beneficial to you is what you've become. So we help people become something different. And yes, it's through the knowledge and integration of simple things and exposure within a group and private sessions so that they can be in a totally different experience of their worth and their power. Yeah. And then when they interact with people, they get far different results.
So great. Wow, what an extraordinary company. I have to ask, you said if we get to the power thing, you'll
Oh,
elaborate
we
more.
got there. You took
Okay.
me back. So we got there. Power control. He said, let go of
Power.
control. And the opposite of control is power. Oh, yeah, I had a story. Okay, brain injury. Now, thank you for backing me up.
Yep, I'm with you.
So when I looked at her company, I also realized that she was meeting with her team about half of her hours every week, about 20 hours a week.
Wow.
And I'm like, wow, like, no, that's not leadership. Like,
Yeah.
what is going on here? And this one was a mixture of control and worth. So let's see if we can spot it.
Okay.
So I asked her what was happening in those sessions. Like, give me a rundown of the sessions you had yesterday, the meetings that you had with your team. And as she was talking, I realized again, she's not doing anything wrong. It's just what is the new fresh eyes and what is the awareness that we have now? What's the indicator light that's going off in your business to show us what we can do over here in your mindset and then go create something totally different that's more in alignment with your highest self and
Nice.
the mission of your company and your life.
So great. Yeah.
And she, in those meetings, was coaching them on side hustles.
What? That's not exactly the direction she wants to move her team in.
And even though she had automated more than I'd ever seen anyone automate, truthfully, ever, until AI came out,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, they felt controlled by the automation because it was so intense. And
Wow.
so she was trying to work through that and force the automation to work and then also listen to them complain basically
Hmm.
without being forthright because she was their boss, which is why that conversation shouldn't happen that way anyway. I hate using the word shouldn't, but there was a better way to create a new place for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then we did some work on that, again, raising the worth and getting her out of control and into power. And here's the cool thing, it was really easy because worth and power are connected. If you think of them as legs on the same body,
Yeah.
they're connected. And so think about the last time you felt powerless.
I'd have to
What
go
was
back. I'd have to go back a ways.
for
Okay, no, I get
exactly.
I had my son had a mental health, a real serious couple years of mental health challenges in his adolescence, and it was awful. I mean, he was
Yeah.
out of control, and it
And
was
you had no control over it, right?
there was nothing I could do.
So one of those
I made him.
clear-cut moments of surrender
Yeah,
because you realized that you thought you had control here and you actually have none.
right.
But interesting enough, it weakens our power a little bit before it increases it. I'm sure it increased your power at some point, but when we're in that control piece before we surrender and go back to power,
Hmm.
it kind of weakens that. How did you feel about yourself when you were in that control space?
It was awful. I mean, I felt like a horrible mother.
Mhm.
Like I know so much. I was a therapist for 30 years. I've done parent training classes. I was stunned. So I was
Yeah.
embarrassed and ashamed and myself.
Worthless therapist,
Yeah,
worthless mom, worthless parent educator,
yeah,
worthless.
yeah,
And that is the role of our subconscious. When you have no power or when you have no control and you're transitioning into understanding the power that you do have in that situation,
yeah.
your subconscious only has worth to make you feel safe. So
Mm,
it actually tells you that you're worthless and that you need to get it together and earn some more worth or your son's gonna flush down the toilet.
wow. Wow.
Same thing with abuse victims. When you're a child
Mm-hmm.
in that case and you don't have power over your abuser, what does the mind automatically do?
I'm no good.
I'm no good. And that's actually a very important coping mechanism because now they have a project, right? I'm going to be worth something. I'm going to be better. And that's a coping mechanism that serves them for a time until it tries to kill them, right?
Right, right.
So, so that's what she was doing is she was trying to raise her worth because she was in control and she felt powerless. She
Wow.
couldn't control the result of every one of her 23 employees' actions.
Right. Of course. Of
She
course.
couldn't. And so once we resolved the first worth thing, this one actually became quite easy to resolve. We let go of 13 people.
Wow.
She didn't even notice. Her company didn't have a single, imagine firing 13 people and no customer has a single issue. Your schedule clears up by 50%, and paying that many people, she added 20 grand to her bottom line every month.
Right. Wow. And she was happier.
Oh, she was so much happier. She started participating in her kids' homeschooling, which she
Nice.
was a teacher originally. So that was important to
Wow.
her.
Wow. What
And
was her business? I'm just curious that she was, yeah.
She taught people who wanted to be in the direct sales business how to brand themselves and sell whatever their brand mission was
Yeah.
instead of the product.
Nice.
Like
Nice.
the
So the
product
why.
was the delivery,
The
right?
why and not the what.
Yeah, brand away from the company,
Nice.
basically.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I was just curious what she had done.
Yeah, she
Well,
did a
that's
great job, and they needed a lot of hands-on because that's kind of like beginner level, putting your toe in business and even maybe just getting out of your house,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
they needed a lot of hands-on. But yeah, we created miracles there. So it all goes with, that's why self-care has been so revolutionary when it's understood correctly, because self-care shows you that you're valuable to
Yeah.
yourself
Yeah. Yeah.
and that you have the power to choose that.
You have worth, and yet, yeah, you deserve to choose that. You deserve to be well. You deserve to be taken care of. Yeah,
And
for
then you
sure.
feel safe because you're a safe caretaker of yourself and you can hear and address your needs, otherwise known as indicators.
Right, exactly. Wow, Angela, you have I love this framework. It's very sophisticated. It's a very
Oh, thank
sophisticated
you.
framework that you make actually very simple. But the thinking behind it, the psychology behind it is really quite sophisticated. And honestly, you don't see that a lot of times in business today. So it's really lovely to be with a business coach, a business leader, CEO who's that attuned to energy, vibration, and consciousness. So it really, really enjoying this. I know
Yeah.
that people listening to this are going to want to find you, maybe hire you and your team to work with them. And I also think you have something to give to people. So you want to talk a little bit about where people can find you in your company and how they might get introduced to some of your work.
I would love to. And they're probably going to want to refer to a link that you'll put in here because some people tend to misspell my company name. And
Okay.
yet I think it's so perfect. I will not change it.
Yeah.
um, they're going to want to go to www.holisticcallymade.com. And that's
Okay.
holistic with a W.
W. Okay. Holistic with a
Yes.
W, holisticallymade.com. And then on
They'll,
that page, they'll find.
they'll see a picture of me on the
Good.
left, and
Yeah.
to the right, then they'll know they're in the right spot. To the right, they're going to click on Start Here. And the reason being is my brainchild, I'm turning 53 here in a month. And my brainchild is what we call the holistic business assessment.
Right.
And this assessment is unique. I don't know of any assessment out there like this for two reasons. Number one, it is not automated. It
Nice.
is a assessment that looks at every part of your mindset, life, and business and can reflect back to you exactly what the patterns and opportunities are.
Wonderful. Wow. That's a wonderful assessment. I'm going to go take it.
Yeah. And then the second thing that we do is my panel of experts and I. So these are people who've already been there and done that, and they're in the give mode. They look at each assessment with me. So we do a round robin and we divide them up, and then we have our responses that we deliver in a consultation.
Wow. Really nice.
We'll connect them. We don't care, if it's an expert on our scale squad or someone in the worldwide mastermind that you are and I are in. We focus on just this triple win,
Yeah.
and we win when they win. But it's about what you think the elephant in the room is, what you've been focusing on, typically isn't what the elephant in the room is, or it wouldn't be there, right? It wouldn't come home with you at night and go to bed with you. It wouldn't come on vacation. It wouldn't be there when you're trying to watch your child's soccer game. And I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like in business and in life, because I raised a sick child as a single mom and ran a 7-figure business. So I understand what those elephants feel like.
Wow.
And I also know what magically happens when you have fresh eyes and fresh options. So my job is, you're doing it just right. There's no problem. There's just an opportunity to be curious and to take a moment to care for yourself and the highest levels of you that you haven't even discovered yet. To be curious about those, and for us to show you with fresh eyes what those options would look like, and to really understand the pattern. It's not just, oh, we think you should go into this. It's, here's the pattern. Here's how it's correlating here. Exactly.
Wow. Wonderful. That's really a beautiful piece of work. And like you said, it's your brainchild. So congratulations on giving birth to that. Angela, this has been a just eye-opening, delightful, in-depth, and heartened conversation. So I'm really so grateful to you for giving your time to the Conscious Living Podcast audience and to me, so that we can really expand our thinking holistically about our path to being millionaires. So thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. It's been lovely.